Hey everyone, it's me, Danielle. I'm back to talk about a couple of new experiences I've had since last I was on the channel. I am continuing with the shamanic journeys with Danny Shea. He does upload the recordings of the meditations, the guided meditations, on his channel, and I will put a link. It's really kind of nice to do a meditation with prompts from somebody else because he has really good ideas sometimes, things that I wouldn't have thought of. Um, like, for example, the time where where we met a power animal, but then we looked through their eyes at ourselves. I wouldn't have thought of that. Uh, so a week ago, we went to the void to meet with one of our spirit guides. I was kind of hoping to meet up with one that I hadn't seen before. There's a couple that I know, I have a good idea what they look like, but I haven't seen them yet. But I was met with one that I have seen since I was about 20 years old. I knew back when I was 20 that there was a threat that she was being threatened to be burned at the stake. Michael Shaman has told me her name is Rebecca, and that she was like a gypsy witch, traveled in a caravan with others and that kind of thing. I know that she was in Denmark at some point. I know what her husband's name was, all this stuff as well, that I've woken up with dreams having all this information. But what I did not know is that she actually was burned. When we went to the void, I saw Rebecca. I saw that she was burning. Um, one of the reasons we were meeting with a guide was to kind of figure out or find out what was holding us back from our, our highest potential. And I've been working on being clairaudient. So when I saw that she burned, I thought, okay. And I just said, could we heal this trauma and release this trauma from our timeline and perhaps rewrite, maybe my life contract about hearing and my abilities, because I'm not in a time where I would be burned if I heard clairaudiently, right? And so I saw her lift a block off each ear and off my throat, which I didn't know there was a block there. I have had beings jump in me and try to channel through me, but all I do is gag. So maybe that's why. So I found that very interesting. After that, I had a very, very different experience, and I do want to share about it because I think it's important, and I did learn a whole lot this week. I woke up and there was it was like a dark energy being above me, and it had like wisps off of it. It wasn't really humanoid, you know what I mean? Like a shape of a human body or anything like that. It really was like this dark energy that had wisps flying off of it, and this like a green glow in the center of it, like a heart chakra would look. And it just jumped right in me. And I didn't know what it was or why it had done that. I did notice that when it was in me, I could hear a female's voice in my head. Uh, Again, since I didn't know what it was or who it was, I just was like, okay, get out. And this is where it gets really weird. It came out my left chest side, and since I've had a mastectomy, I've got the breast cancer gene. So I've got silicone in my chest. And this is so weird because you would think an energy being could pass through any substance. It should not be physical, right? It's energy. But it it had a hard time going through the silicone, and it was pulling. I mean, I was awake for all this. It was pulling, like it was trying to struggle through, and I actually had to put my hands and like hold my skin down and everything. It was very, very strange. My mind was a bit blown. Honestly, if there was a camera on me, it would have caught all this. And, people have suggested that I should have cameras. I probably would catch a lot of weird things for sure. But I don't know. You never know when something like that's going to happen. So that happened. And I talked to Michael Shaman the next day, and he told me that the dark energy being was my polar opposite. He told me that there's a universe that is like a mirror of our universe, where we are all coming from the light. They are a dark energy source, but we all have basically like a mirror twin on this in this other dark universe. I had never heard this before. Um, and he said that she wanted to merge with me. I want to merge with myself. My dark energy half wants to merge with my light energy half. Um, this made me think of Uriel. Archangel Uriel, I felt, was the only being I've ever met that had both light and dark energy. And Michael Shaman said that all the angels have merged with their light and dark halves. They only present the light side, but Uriel presents more of the dark. And I just found this all so interesting. And I was talking to some psychic friends, and one of them heard that the dark energy wanted to show me something, and they heard the words "follow the wisps." Now that made me think of the cartoon Brave, where the girl saw those little lighted little beings, and she followed them through the forest. So I expected to see something like that. And that night, in the middle of the night, I woke up at 2 a.m. and there was a green glow in front of me. Sorry, I just had some coffee, and I'm just having some more. Anyway, I saw this green glowing being, wisp, whatever it was. Maybe it was that heart chakra again. Um, and I tried following it, but I was following it with my eyes, and it was flying around. And in my mind, I thought, no, follow it with my consciousness. And so I locked onto it with my consciousness, and it no longer was moving because I was with it. And I mean, maybe not a minute later, I found myself actually through the mirror. I had gone through to the dark universe. And the first being that I met there was my daughter's polar opposite self, her dark energy being. And I recognized the energy was the same. I knew her, You would know. I always recognize my daughter's energy when I come across it. I think as you experience many different beings, your very closest loved ones, you will recognize their energy signature no matter what lifetime. Uh, I mean, I think that's like why people feel like they have soulmates and things like that, is because they are recognizing the energy. You don't have to be psychic, like a working medium to be able to recognize, that somebody in your soul. Your soul knows. Okay, so I go through. I met with my daughter's dark energy being, and behind her, I saw a crowd, a whole bunch. And so this is why I feel like it's super important to share about, because I feel like most psychics only talk about beings of the light, and they talk about dark energy like it's it's bad, it's negative, but the energy itself is neutral. Just as I would say light could be neutral, we could have a being of light who comes here on earth and is a sociopath who does evil things. We still choose. So I think it's the same thing. And in fact, I've been contemplating what is the source of this dark universe. If our source is the light, then what is the source of the dark energy? And I've been thinking, what if it's the void? And so many people go out of body and they go to the void and they find it very soothing and calm and comfortable, but not negative. So I do want to just sort of contemplate these ideas, like, and introduce these ideas in a way that is framed in not a human construct of good versus bad or evil versus, holy or whatever. Those are human constructs. It is simply energy. So I believe, since I saw this crowd, that many of us have a dark energy half that is ready to merge with us. And I would ask anyone who feels moved to do so to maybe meditate on that and see if they don't find their own dark half and merge. It's very interesting because with my dark energy half, I do sometimes hear my own higher self too. So I think the potential for growth of having both the light and the dark energy together is greater than only one half. Also, my psychic friend who told me to follow the wisps, she said that not many people can travel through the mirror, and that it was really a gift that I was invited and brought across. And yeah, I'm very honored to have been able to go and to be able to share about it. These are just completely mind-blowing new concepts that nobody talks about, that I feel like I haven't heard before. If somebody else out there is familiar with it, obviously I would love to hear. So, throw any names in the comments of people who do talk about this. It's very reminiscent of Stranger Things and going to the upside down, what 11 calls the upside down world, or what. It's been a while since I've watched the show. However, I didn't see the environment. I only saw the beings. I did also want to mention, like, I've been doing a little bit of reading up on the Merkaba, and I came across the Heckalot literature, and how they describe the Merkaba as a chariot or a vehicle for us to go out of body, which it's not like I ever see this around myself, but in the Heckalot literature, they talk about how with, I don't know, piety or something, that somebody could journey into the light or heaven in the palaces, the palaces of heaven, without, being at the end of their life. They could do it while they're alive. But it was like only a rare amount of people have ever done it. And like, I've also done that. My brother and I have both been into the light, out of body. and it didn't seem very difficult to do. I know many near-death experiencers have gone in and come back to life, but that was the other way. Um, so so I have also entered into the light, the source. So now I've been on both sides, which is very interesting. Okay, so I've got a new spirit guide art to show, and again, you never know how somebody's going to receive this information when I give them a reading. What I saw for her was this beetle type ET as a guide, and she wanted the beetle drawn. Also, I saw that she had a guide that was a moss ball, and I was like, "Is this a plant being from another planet or another dimension?" I don't even know, but it was a moss ball, and I saw an arachnid type ET being. So very kind of naturey based beings. Um, so I sent her this information, and she was like so excited because she loves moss balls. She's had moss balls, and she said she hears clicking in her ear. So I think she's clairaudient and that her guide, the moss ball, is making this clicking noise. She even sent me a video that had a recording of a plant clicking. And she also said that her daughter is scared of spiders, and so she has brought into her family two spiders. So I did draw the beetle ET. The hand I have resting on a moss ball down at the bottom, and I even worked in a little tiny arachnid and some webs a little bit just to sort of tie it all together. So I love that. I swear sometimes I see this stuff and I think when I share this to the person, they're gonna think I'm crazy. It's not gonna make any sense. It's not gonna resonate. But it often does. So I love that. I I asked her how she came to find me. I don't have very many subscribers on my channel. So I just always assume, she hired me from Canada. So I just assume she saw me get interviewed on some bigger channel. But it turns out that she was the makeup artist on Paranormal Witness who did the makeup for the person who played me in the Paranormal Witness episode about my house. I think it was filmed in 2015. It's season 5. It's called The Pit. So, how fun is that? She's been following me. We've been friends on Facebook ever since then, and I had no idea. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. Obviously, I want to hear anyone's opinions, experiences with the void, shamanic journeys, their ideas about the dark universe. I feel like that sounds like it's comics, right? They're comics. But so many things that are real are portrayed in movies and literature. And you have to think maybe the person is inspired, like they learn about these things from their dreams or meditations or channeling. They don't even know they're channeling, they're just in a flow state and the idea comes out. Who knows? But I do think this is an important topic, and I'd love to hear anyone's ideas about it. So please, feel free to comment. All right. Thanks for spending a little bit of time listening to my crazy stories, and I will see you again soon. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone.